Hi, Carol. Maybe give it a minute to see if anyone else joins us, otherwise I'll get started. Hi, Trudy. Okay, well, I like to start on time. I like to start everything on time, so I'm not going to make you wait for everybody else. I know everybody was excited to hear about our release of the adult puzzles. Get your mind out of the gutter. I say adult puzzles because they are a challenging project, not something that's for kids, and that's why I'm calling them those. I'm calling them by that name, which once you see them, you may have some different ideas on what we should call them. Hi, Maggie. All right. Okay, so I know you all want to see the adult puzzles, but first I'm going to show you something else. So we told you that we were coming up with some designs that would be a little bit more inexpensive and something that would be useful for decor around the house. And so I am going to show you those first. We are calling these our skinny boards, and they are intended for the tops of doorways. Hi, Amber. Or gallery walls, or collages, that kind of thing. They're 24 inches wide. It's going to be kind of hard because I don't have a ton of room on the camera. We'll just go back and forth. They're 24 inches wide. They're 3.5 inches high, and they're perfect for doorways. We have over 50 designs right now, and we are adding more. It's just as fast as I can design them. So this one says self-serve laundry. Hi, Luann. This one is enjoy the little things. We did 5 of them, and I'm going to paint one on the live a little bit later. So family, a little bit crazy, a little bit loud, a whole lot of love. And this one, home sweet home. So again, these are 24 inches wide. They're 3.5 inches high. And the great part about these is they're $10 each, and it comes with 3 paints, the base paint and 2 accent colors, or 3 for $20. So it's buy 2 get 1 free. So affordable, fun, not a project that's going to take you forever to get done. For Melissa and I, we can probably kick these out in like 15 minutes, 20 minutes, but I know like we do this every single day, all day long. So for you guys, half an hour, 45-minute project probably. And I mean, at $10, you know, it's a great price. And again, 3 of them for $20. And while you sit here right now, these are already on our website. You just don't see them yet. So let me turn that on for you. And then you will see all the different designs that we have. All right, those are live on our website now. And we are adding more. We're adding stuff for kids' rooms as well. But right now, we have some wine, a couple beer ones. We have laundry room and bathroom. We have a lot of home ones. And we have kitchen ones. And every category will add more. It's just the time that we have to get them designed takes a little bit longer. We're also working on a lot of Mother's Day things right now, so you know we're trying to balance all of that. Hi, Melissa. Hi, Sharon. All right, let me put these back here. Let's see. Okay, not getting to the puzzles yet. I'm gonna make you wait just a little bit longer. Last night we had our first ever virtual paint, and it went really well. We had a couple that didn't end up joining for whatever reasons. They had a long day at work, or maybe they were too busy or whatever, but they didn't come on. But this is mine, and I did an ombre or a gradient background on mine. And we had the watermelon design and the popsicle design. Most people did the popsicles. But those are on our Facebook page underneath our, if you just scroll down the post a little ways, you'll see them. They are on our, there's a picture of the virtual workshop screen that has all of our little camera shots on it. And in that post, you'll see everybody posting their designs. There were a couple that we don't have on there yet. They were having trouble. So we're going to help them get their pictures uploaded. But so this was fun. I think everybody had a good time. It took us about 2 hours to complete it, and everybody's projects turned out great. We didn't really have any video issues, so the Blue Jean app worked. I think that worked pretty well. I know 1 or 2 of our painters had a little bit of lag, and they weren't crazy about that, which I can understand. But otherwise, I think they were pretty good. It was pretty fun, and we did have a request to do it again. So if the quarantine is not lifted by the end of April, then we'll look at doing one in May. If the quarantine gets lifted, then we probably won't, but I don't know, we'll have to see. I did hear today, or I read today, that she was going to start releasing or lifting the quarantine for some things for Michigan businesses, so I'm not sure what all she has in store, but we'll figure it out. Hi, Ellen. Let's see, what else? Okay, so then after I painted this background, I had somebody want to know how I did it. So I think on one of next week's lives, I will show you how you paint an ombre or a gradient. And just keep in mind that my version is only one version everybody does it differently. And they usually all turn out really, really great. So we will do that on one of next week's lives. Maggie, would you see interest on a Friday night virtual? Yeah, absolutely. We could do a Friday night for sure. I think we talked about that last time. So if we do, we'll do it on Friday night. But what I do know is that we need a little bit more notice so that we can get them shipped for you. I'm getting out of camera. Let me get over. So that we can get them shipped out, because they take forever right now with the mail system. I know that we sent you a package, Maggie, and it got there pretty quick, but I don't want to take the chance that it wouldn't. So we'll want to make sure that we have a couple week notice. So let's just say if we find out that the quarantine's not being lifted, we'll get a virtual workshop set up for like the second week of May, and that will give us plenty of time to get orders and packages shipped out, and to replenish our wood supply, because it's dwindling very, very quickly. It's the slim pickings in both of our garages for what we have available. So we have to sneak to the lumber store and pretend that we're essential. Okay, Maggie. Hi, Brandy. Okay, so there's this. I'll show you that. What else before we get to the puzzles? I know you guys want to see the puzzles. All right. I guess I don't got anything to stall anymore. Oh, yes, I do. Okay, the quarantine signs. On our website, we have the Rainbow Hearts porch sitter. We call them porch sitters. They're a 4-foot board, 9 1/4 inches wide, and it's the signs that say, when the world stayed together, when even while the people stayed apart, or something like that. I don't know. I can't remember. I'm sorry. Terrible memory. But it's got the rainbow hearts on it, and that is on our Facebook page for sale right now. And then Melissa is working on a new quarantine sign right now also. So I'm not sure how she's doing on that. So we'll have to see what she comes up with for you. And maybe we'll be able to show you that on Mondays. No, not Mondays. On Tuesdays live. So let's hope. We don't do lives on Mondays, so it will be on Tuesday. I hope that we'll be able to show you that. If not, it might even be on our Facebook page and then on our website for sale before Tuesday. But I'll be able to actually show you the thing on the live for Tuesday. Okay. Mother's Day, we also got some great Mother's Day projects coming out for you. So again, those designs, I already got those ready, and they were sent to Melissa. And as long as she's got enough wood, she'll be cutting those with our new laser, because they're very intricate and the CNC just can't handle them. So we will get that sent or set up so you guys can see it. Hi, Kevin. Okay, here we go. I'm going to show you the puzzles. All right. Check it out. Pretty neat. So this one is completely finished and assembled, and the pieces, I glued the pieces all in. But I want you to see the detail on that. See those skinny little lines? This is all cut on our laser. And what it is, don't mind my messy stain. It's a backboard. These are 11 by 11. So you've got the plain backing board, and then you've got this opposite camera. You've got this is the front board, and then out of that front board, all of these little pieces are cut. So then when you take all of these pieces out, all you have are what I have stained, these skinny little lines here. That's all wood. And then you paint all the pieces, and then you put them back in. Pretty neat, huh? Now, why we're calling these adult puzzles? Because you have to put them together. Now, we don't just send you a bunch of pieces. We're not going to do that and say good luck. But we'll send it all taped, so it's all in the place where it goes. And then we will do a live on, this takes a really long time, so we won't finish it in one part. But we will do a live on Wednesday where we paint one of these and show you how it's done. Now, I have a few to show you today, but we have about a dozen different ones. I just finished up 8 more this morning, so we might have over a dozen. So this will make a great Mother's Day gift, either finished or unfinished. It's a project that you won't probably finish in one sitting, because it takes a lot of time. It's pretty detailed. At some point you might even get a little frustrated. So this is definitely a project that's a little more challenging. If you are thinking about gifting this to somebody who is impatient, this is not the project. One thing about this is you can't, I don't really think you can mess it up unless you paint the piece the wrong color and glue it in, and you know, and then you'll have to figure out a way to fix it, which there's always a way to fix it. But it's not gonna bleed. You don't have a stencil to deal with. There's no sanding involved or anything like that. We will not supply the glue with these, however. You'll have to get your own glue, but like we've said 100 times in all of our lives, this is the glue you want. It's the Loctite super glue professional liquid, and this bottle costs around $3. And I've still got about a quarter of it left, and I've done many projects with it. So very, very cool. You'll get all your paint supplies and all your paints with these. And I will show you some more of the designs that we have. Now this one is our 11 by 11, and hold on, I've got my notes to tell you how much these are going to cost. This one is $28. So the squares, the 11 by 11 squares are $28. And again, that includes all your paint and your supplies. Hi, Angela. Remember, if I don't say hi to you, or if I don't respond to your comments, it's because I don't see everyone that pops up. I don't know why. If you've joined me on other lives, you've heard me tell you I have no idea. I don't understand Facebook. I'm either too young for Facebook or too old for Facebook. I don't know which one it is. But they don't always pop up where I can see them on my other screen. So if you have questions, I try to go back through after the live is over and look at everything and make sure I've addressed everything. All right, so let's see. Let me show you. Now, Melissa painted one also, and this one's a little bit differently, or a little bit different. And it's not glued in, so, because she wanted me to be able to show you how this works. So on Melissa's, this is a 19 by 11. And the 19 by 11s, the rectangles, are going to be $35, and the same as the squares. They're going to include the paint, and let me see if I can back up. They're going to include the paint and all the supplies to paint it. They just won't include the glue. And we'll have full instructions to the best of our abilities, because sometimes you can't write in detail out how everything goes, but we'll do our absolute best for you. Now, the difference in this one is that there are no lines on the frame. All right. So see that? No lines on the frame. Whereas mine, the sunflower, had all the lines in between. So on this one, you have to figure out where all the pieces go. Now again, when we send this to you, we will send it all taped together. We put a big piece of mask over the top of it, and all the pieces are in there where they belong. So when you take it apart, you can take it apart where you want to and assemble it, you know, on your surface where you're painting or whatever. And then you'll have to figure out how to put it back together. Or if you put the pieces to the side in order, it won't be that big of a deal. All right. So, and then after you paint all this, you'll glue it all together in there so it won't come back apart. Pretty neat, huh? And again, you'll have to, it'll be a little bit challenging to paint all of these pieces. Now you see what Melissa's water, she got a little creative, and she did an ombre or a gradient paint there to get some different color beach water in there. And she did the same with her palm tree fronds. All right, and then again with her sky. So there's that one. I hope I didn't disappoint you guys in these puzzles, because I was so excited to bring them to you. And I really thought it was going to be something that you guys really, really loved. So I hope it didn't disappoint. Hi, Carol. Okay, so let me show you the next couple. Yeah, I'm day drinking. Don't judge me. This one is a good show of how it will come to you. Okay, so I'm going to flip this over. I'm going to show you. Okay, so here's the backing board. And then here is the back side of the design. Now, I'm going to put the backboard back on it just in case, but I do want to show you that this is all masked. And so the pieces aren't falling out or going anywhere. All right. So in this case, to start painting it, I would lay it down. Let me pull this back so you can see a little bit. Yeah, for sure, Ellen, right? 5 o'clock somewhere. I would lay this on its face, and I would push down in the centers of all the pieces, and I would start pulling the border up around it. Okay, so I would just hold these pieces down and start releasing the border from the pieces. And then what I don't want to do it because I don't want to have to put it back together. But then what you're going to have in the end is you're going to have the border and the grid, because all of these pieces here are connected to the border. So that's going to come off and be separate, and then all the puzzle pieces will be stuck to the mask in the order that they go. And then you can start pulling them off and painting them. And then once you get them painted, you can start putting them back into the grid. Okay? We'll do a live on one so you can see how it's done. But I have one more that's completed to show you. And these aren't on the website yet. We don't have them on there yet. I plan to have these on there tonight, probably, maybe tomorrow. But tonight was my goal. So at some point tonight they'll be on there. And again, this one's all masked because we have to mask them before we take them out of the machine. Or else we'd be taking 100 pieces out of the machine. So this one is mountains and the sun. All right, so we have sunflower, watermelon, lots of mountain ones. We have, let me see, quilt blocks. I did 8 quilt blocks this morning. And some of my quilt blocks are square and some of them are round set in a square. I have always loved barn quilts, and so I thought this will be cool to be able to do these as a barn quilt style. Now, we have done paintings of barn quilts before, but you guys either didn't love us then or you didn't love the barn quilts because we didn't sell them. So they just sat there. All right, the beach one, Angela wanted to see that again. It's not all tacked down yet, so I'm going to be just careful as I can. We might have one more beach one. I can't remember. Let me look real quick and see. No, mountains. So we have the sunflowers, the watermelon. We have this beach one. We have a really cool like mountain valley one with a river running through it. And then we have several of the other this style mountain here. And we have these in square as well with the mountains. And then we have 8 different of the quilt ones. So very cool, love it. I was very excited about it. I will have to tell you, like, we love the idea of it, but it was tedious to paint. It was very challenging. It took a long time. So it's definitely, keep that in mind. It's not going to be a project that you're going to be able to rush through. It's definitely going to take a while to get done. But right now I know a lot of people don't have a ton of things keeping them busy. And this kind of project might be right up their alley. And it really might be something that you give as a gift. And again, either finished or unfinished. I think they would make great, great gifts. So, all right. And then we'll do a live to show you how to do it. And I'll do my best to write up some instructions as well. I'm really into the video instructions right now, only because I think that's like the easiest thing to do. I'm going to make it difficult. Yeah, well, usually, I don't know. I can't just do one thing. I have to have 100 different of the same project, 100 different designs. But anyway, I'm really into the video instructions right now because I think it's just so much easier than for me to verbalize it all on paper for you. So that's probably the reality of it. It's going to be a video instruction. And you'll just have to adapt those video instructions to whatever design you have, but it shouldn't be a problem. All right, what else do I have to talk about? I think that's all I had to talk about. And now I'm just gonna paint. I have one project that I want to get painted today, and it won't take long. It's just a skinny board, but it's 1:30 already, almost 1:30, so I feel like I'm probably right on time. Right on time. All right, so I have a Bless This Home design that I'm going to paint. I'm going to do this one, Bless Our Home. I just gotta decide what side of the board I want to put it on. I think I'm gonna do this side. And then, of course, the hardest part is choosing colors. Don't know what colors to choose. And I do have somebody coming to pick up stuff today, so hopefully they don't come in the next half hour. But if they do, I will have to answer the door. I am going to paint my base in Bon Voyage. And then I think I'm going to do a little bit of a gradient or an ombre on the letters so you can see how one of those is done. Okay. Hi, Michelle. My sponge bucket is getting very low. I hardly have any sponges left. We have to place a very big supply order because we are out. You see, I'm using a black stencil because we are out of stencil. We are out of stencil material. But I didn't really care because long before they made stencil material, I used this vinyl because if any, I don't know how much you know about our history, but we started in the vinyl industry 13 years ago, and it was doing car decaling or detailing, like signs on cars. And so that's this kind of, this whatever this black vinyl is, that's this vinyl. That was what we used. And in order to keep your business going, you have to keep up with the trend. So at some point along that 12-year journey, car wraps became popular. And so now those machines are thousands and thousands of dollars, and I wasn't into that anyway. So the sign business kind of tanked, but to keep it going, you have to keep up with the trend. So we just adapted. And so then it became interior decals. It became the vinyl that you put on your walls for decor. So we did that for, we probably did that for longer than we did the car decals. So that was probably a good 10-year run. And some people still do that, but the trend is fading. And so now a lot of people are, now we've moved and transitioned into signs and stuff. Okay, so now to go backwards, because boy, I get off topic, or I shift topic and lose what I started the story about. So when the trend started changing, probably in the very early stages of the trend changing to signs, I was making signs with this vinyl as a stencil, because at that point, stencil vinyl hadn't been created. And for me, I was like, man, why not have it be paint instead of vinyl and just do it the opposite way? So that's what I did. We cut the vinyl as we normally would for the interior decor. And hold on, Ellen, I will answer you. Oh, Michelle, yeah. So Michelle is a friend of mine from high school. We go way back, and it's been so long. But yes, and Michelle, how old are your boys now? I did interior vinyl for Michelle's boys when she first had them, just for the rooms, was part of her baby shower gift, I think. So I would cut the vinyl stencil, and instead of making it so you would put it on a wall, I would pick all those pieces out, we would put it on a board, and then we would paint it. And so that's really what we do today, but the stencil material has changed. The vinyl has changed into a stencil material, and it's more expensive, of course, than it is to use this. Now, this is a big, long story to tell you. Michelle's boys turn 11 tomorrow. Well, happy birthday to your boys. So 11 years. Yeah, it's been a long time. So, this stencil material is a lot cheaper. Sorry, it's not stencil. This vinyl is a lot cheaper than buying the stencil vinyl. But, and it still works. It's just doesn't work the way that the stencil vinyl does. So, and I feel like I was making another point, but I lost train of thought. All right, so now let's answer some questions. What kind of sponges are these? Ellen, it's a top secret, man. I'm not sure if I can tell you. These are dollar store sponges, and it's actually like a kitchen sponge that we cut into 4 pieces, because most of our stuff we just make to be disposable. Now, if you come to a workshop, we do reuse these. I will reuse it until I can't use it anymore, until it's dried out, or whatever. I wear it out. And we do reuse them at a workshop also, but if you order a DIY kit, you get new ones. But the great thing about using a sponge, we use the soft side of it. It does have a scrubby side. We don't use that side. The great thing about using this is it controls the amount of paint that you put on, and it also puts the thinnest coat that is possible on the board, which is exactly what we want, because our paint dries very, very quickly, but it has to be completely dry in order for the stencil to work. So to get these done in a workshop setting, which usually lasts about 3 hours, but they're usually much bigger signs, not just these little boards, you have to have paint that will dry fast enough. So we teach you to put on 3 coats, and we teach you to put on very, very thin coats. And I've talked about that so much on videos, I didn't even talk about it today when I did it. I'm sorry. I realized that you were new and I probably should have said something, but most people that are on here right now have been on all of our videos and have seen me say that 500 times, so I didn't. I'm so sorry. So when we paint in the very thinnest coat possible. We wipe on our paint, not brush on our paint, because brushes leave lines. And when you use a sponge, it makes a nice smooth finish coat on it. You can't see any brush marks or any lines or anything. And my lighting is terrible. But I hope that you can see that. See, there's no brush strokes, no brush lines or anything. Just a nice smooth coat of paint, and it covers so well. So we always say to put 2 coats of paint on your base coat. And I've been talking, so I don't even know how many coats I've got on it, but I am going to put 1 more. Angela, how long does it take from the time I order name puzzles to be ready? Oh, the name puzzles, as long as we have wood in stock, Angela, we can kick them out in 24 hours. They don't take us very long. So if you want to order, but you don't want to place the order on the website until just send us a message. I don't know, just send us a message on Facebook or even to our email, which is rwsworkshops@gmail.com, and say, hey, I need 5 name puzzles. Can you have them done by Saturday or whatever? And we'll let you know. All right, I'm going to get my sides. Ellen, I hope I answered your question well enough. If not, let me know. So we've been doing this, oh man, I think we're in our 3rd year of doing signs. And we started out doing palette signs, which everybody loved, but we just talked about how things are trendy. And palette signs, while people still love palette signs, we found that we really didn't get a ton of requests for them. So that's when we switched over to offering both palette signs and then other things. And as we've grown, we've just added more and more things. So now we have the CNC, which is a fabulous machine. And then we also have, the laser, which is very, very new to us. We've only had it for a few weeks. But all the designs and the things that you can do with it are amazing. And what I love is how we can take and we can... Oh, nice, Ellen. Oh, that's so good. Thanks for joining us. You can visit our website at rwsworkshops.com, and you can see all kinds of different projects that you can get from us. And once this quarantine is lifted, we'll be back to doing workshops. We host workshops, and then you can host them, and we'll come to you. So glad that you're with us today. Oh my God, what was I talking about? Okay, so I love how we can take and use every machine that we have to make something. And we can use our CNC to make the backer boards, the cutouts, the larger cutouts. So it's more of a larger scale machine. It doesn't do the fine detail stuff. And then we can take the laser and cut out the small shapes for the laser. And this sign is the perfect one to show you. So even though this backer board is just round and not a big deal, before we had the CNC, we cut them by hand with a jigsaw. But it's nice because, the CNC will cut out the holes, so we don't have to drill those separately. And then the laser cut out these shapes. And then we use the plotter for the words, the Aloha Summer. So all three of our main machines went into making this sign, or making this sign a possibility. And I just love that so much. So, and it will please Melissa to know that I don't have any other machines at the forefront of my mind that we need. So I won't be spending any more money anytime soon. All right. So you can tell, I guess I'm gonna talk instructions because we do have some new people on board. Hi, Sherry. So you can tell when your paint is dry by holding it up to the light and like just tipping it. And if you see any shiny spots, like right there, I know you can see on the camera, you can see that that's a shiny spot. Shiny spots are wet, so we can't do anything until this dries. Yeah, right. There's no machines that I want. I want a building. But yeah. So we will give this just another second to dry or so. We can fan it or whatever, but I'm not really in a hurry. So we've got plenty of time here and we can talk. You can ask me some questions. Yes, exactly, Carol. She's having a blast with the laser. So it was a good purchase. It was definitely, it was worth every penny, and we spent a whole lot of pennies on it. It was worth every single penny. Not to be 100% transparent, but I'm being pretty transparent. We were saving our money for a building. We did work really hard at getting the money put aside so we would have a nice little egg to get us started and sustain us if we were able to find space. And if you've joined us at workshops, you know our struggle with finding space that was affordable for us. It's been nearly impossible. And, we knew the price range we wanted to be at. Because we knew that at that price range, we could still afford to bring you affordable workshops that you could attend and still pay our rent and buy all of our supplies. But finding a place has not been easy, not at all. And, so we just got to a point where we were like, okay, so we do workshops out of the rented space. And while it's not glamorous at all, and it's very strange. If you've been to a workshop, you completely understand what I'm talking about. But we've done it since June there, and I think we've just learned to deal with it. So we're okay. It works. So we decided that we're going to take that money that we have set aside, and we're just going to try to grow the business. And that's when the laser came in, and we bought the laser. And we knew from the very get-go that was going to be Melissa's baby, and she picked it up so fast, and she's loving it, like she says. And yeah, so many things that we can do with it. We just don't have the time to do all of it. And I feel like we work constantly. Like, we have day jobs as well. I mean, right now we're not working at full capacity because of the quarantine. But even with having the day job, we still work nonstop on this business. So we're always trying to bring you new things. So we're trying to have things for every single season and every holiday, and just trying to always provide you with something to do. So, okay, so my board's dry, and I am going to put my stencil on. So in the workshops, we teach you to squeegee your stencil down. And in the workshops, you use these, but if you get a to-go kit, you get a plastic credit card type squeegee, which works just fine. So when you pull your stencil off, this is a little different because it's not typical stencil material. It still works the exact same way, but it just looks different. And this material is a little bit thinner, and it's stretchier because it's thinner. So you just pull the backing paper off, and if any stencil sticks to the backing paper, you just crease the backing paper and push it back down. Now, if you're working at home, most of our kits are delivered in pizza boxes, which, sorry if it disappointed you come dinner time and you were thinking you were getting a pizza delivery. So you could use your pizza box for your paint, or we save the backing paper and we will put the paint on the backing paper as well. So just something to do to not need a paper plate and to eliminate some waste. Hi, Janet. Okay, so you flip your stencil over and lay it on your board. And our stencils are cut to fit the edges of our boards. Now, that being said, sometimes milled boards aren't always milled exactly to the measurements that they may have been the first time. So this board is supposed to be 3.5 inches. It could be like just a little tiny bit over. So that would mean that our stencil is just a little bit over. But for the most part, the edges of our stencils fit the edges of your board. So there's really no lineup to do. There's no measuring. You don't have to break out the ruler unless you're Wendy. I don't know if Wendy is still with us, but Wendy is OCD. So Wendy is going to measure that within the smallest increment possible. But you'll just put your stencil on your board, and then once it's on there and where you want it, you're going to squeegee it down. And then once it's squeegeed down, you're going to remove the top application tape, and we just start in a corner. And let's see if I can get that corner in. And we lift up the application tape and just roll it back on itself, just like this. I'm not pulling it straight up. I don't want to pull it straight up. I want to pull it back because it puts less pressure on the vinyl itself. And so we're just going to slowly peel this off. You can fold this forward on itself so it creates like a handle to pull it off with. Now, some people reuse their mask material, and if I wasn't doing a live for you and I had more stuff I was going to do, I would probably save my mask material also. Our stencils are not reusable. They're a one-time use. And so then you just throw that away. And then let's see. Let's show you a little bit of this. We don't have a ton of room here, but I can do a little bit of a gradient for you. So let's do that. I am going to use, boy, our paints are getting so low. I'm gonna use Salty Dog, which is like a dark navy. And I'm going to use my favorite color, Watery Sigh, and I'm going to pick one more color here for the middle. Let's see. Now, when you do a gradient, it doesn't have to be all the same shades of color. You can throw a pink in there if you want to, or, you know, it doesn't have to be all blues. It can be whatever you want it to be. But when you set it up, you just want to make sure that you do your colors darkest to lightest. And sometimes you just have to pick in your head, this is going to be the darkest one. Sometimes you're not 100% sure if that's my darkest or my lightest. Okay. Let me pick out some wedges here. Okay, when we paint our accent colors on, so this is called our base color. I didn't paint the back, but whatever you paint your substrate that's called your base color. And then the other colors we call accent colors. All right. So when we paint our accent colors, we use cosmetic wedges. Again, at home, we recycle everything. So we'll keep using these until we can't use them anymore. And if the edges get crusty and dry out, I might even clip those edges off and use it again. So I'm going to start with my darkest color, which is Salty Dog, and I dip my sponge into that color, and then I dab off to the side because I don't want a ton of paint on my sponge. I just want a little bit. And I am going to start my dark color on the bottom. Now, it's going to be hard for you to see all of this, but you'll see when I get to the center here, okay? So I'm going to start along the edge, the bottom edge. Now, our paint dries really, really quick. So doing a gradient spread out over a distance is a little tougher, but we'll manage it. So we like to say that your accent color needs 3 coats. It's like 3 coats kind of ties it all together. All right, I'm gonna keep moving, and I just know that I'll be able to get this all pulled together even if it dries a bit, so I'm not gonna worry about that so much. But what I am gonna do is get my colors that I'm using back up here because I know I'll probably need more. Okay, so then I'm gonna move into our Island Breeze color. I'm gonna dip my cosmetic wedge into the paint, and then I'm gonna dab off, and I'm gonna start in the center. I'm not worried about blending or anything at this point. Right now, I'm just going to get the paint on the board. We'll blend later. When I do gradients or ombres, I don't really care about, I honestly don't care about anything. I know that it's gonna turn out how it turns out, so I don't overthink it, I don't over stress it, I just do it. Okay, and then I'm gonna move on to my third color. What base color? It was Blue Willow. The base was Blue Willow. Oops, I wanted you to see that. See all that paint? It's too much. I put too much on. I didn't dab off. I'm not using my own advice. So when you can actually see raised paint on your project, you have too much paint. Now, a lot of times when you do gradients or ombres, you'll use a brush. You won't, and it will be your base, not your accent colors. But it can be done this way, and so I'm going to show you that it can be done this way. Kind of like the way that this Aloha Summer was. So I started with the flamingo on the Aloha, and then I moved into our Passion Purple. So again, with these, you can tell if it's wet by holding it up to the light. Now, the paint that is actually on the vinyl stencil won't dry as quickly as the paint that is on the wood. So sometimes it might look like it's wet or shiny, but you'll have to look and make sure that that's just not the paint that's on the stencil, because most likely that's what it is. And I'm gonna go back and get my second coat put on my Salty Dog. And I just dab it on there. I don't care if I get a little bit into the second layer, which is our Island Breeze. I'm just getting my second coat on there. It might hit the Island Breeze, it might not. Don't care. And I'm gonna move to the Island Breeze color. Looks like my video got a little grainy. I'm not sure if it's just on my end or if you see grainy as well. And again, when I do my Island Breeze, I don't care that I'm hitting my wet Salty Dog paint. That's fine with me. A little bit mixes in. I'm good with that. I want it to kind of be that way anyway. I don't care if I'm getting a little high and hitting my watery side color at the top as well. I don't. But now what I'm going to do, because I got the bottom Salty Dog done and I've got the middle Island Breeze done with my second coat, I'm going to take a dry sponge. It's not clean. It's clean. It's just recycled. And I'm going to come in the middle. And I see that, I'm not sure why, but it says live video interrupted. I have no idea why. I'm going to keep going because you'll catch it on the replay. Sorry, I don't know why it was interrupted. Hopefully it will come back on here pretty quick. So now I'm going to start with my top layer. Now or not, but I'm going to keep going. Just catch it on the replay maybe, and I'll try to watch the replay again and make sure I got all your comments. Okay, so I've got my top layer of watery side on there. Now I'm going to do the exact same thing. I'm going to take another sponge dry and I'm going to blend. Oh, now it just popped back up.
My show just came back. I have a little slow.
I'm not sure. I can't see whether or not it tells me I'm still on, but I don't know if it's running yet because our internet just came down and said that he lost his connection as well, so something happened. I still don't show you guys. I don't show myself back, but I show that I'm still live. I don't know. Weirdness. Again, trying to smooth out the transitions. Oh, I think I got you back. All right. Yay. You're back on my end. All right. So, Brandy, you're still on. So, Brandy, if you are interested in doing some kind of project, all you have to do is go to our website and see what we have on there. Anything listed on our website is what we have available right now. Sometimes on lives, actually quite often on lives, we reveal new things, but just because we reveal them doesn't mean that they're available. So it's kind of like when you're on a live or at a workshop, you get like a sneak peek. So we like to say that that's kind of like the bonus for joining us. You get a sneak peek at what's going on. But just because you get a sneak peek of it doesn't mean it's quite ready. Like the interchangeable tailgate truck, that's not ready yet. Hold on, I got a drink. We still have a couple of details to work out. As you know, quite often when we make a new design and then we end up cutting it and putting it together, sometimes we find that, well, that idea worked in our head, it worked on screen, but when we actually have the tangible item in our hands, it doesn't look great or it didn't work out so well. So we have to revise it. And that's the case with the interchangeable truck. I don't think that we're going to roll that guy out until mid-summer, maybe even till late summer. Every one of those tailgate designs takes me 45 minutes to an hour to design. And right now I only have 9 ready for you. So I think that, and then the prototype needed a little bit of work, which we made those changes to it. So that's all set, but we still have to get the rest of the tailgate designs ready. and we have to get all of, there's just some things that we gotta get worked out on it. So that might not be available, like I said, until maybe midsummer or so. But anything that we do have available, we do put on our website. All of our 4th of July designs are done. They have not been digitized for the website yet. All of this process takes so long. So first I have to go in and design everything. And then I have to convert it over from a cut file or a laser file or a CNC file over to like a JPEG that you can actually view to see what it looks like. And then I have to do like a mock-up of it so you can see what it's going to look like on whatever substrate we're putting it on. And then everything has to be transferred into, like, with a background and watermark and all that kind of stuff. And then it has to be listed on the website. So everything is quite a process and it takes a while. So 4th of July designs, I hope to have done by the end of the weekend and on the website. And, you know, just we go as fast as we can, but we are just 2 people and with full-time jobs as well. So as much as we would like to devote all of our time to this place, and it really feels like we do, sometimes it's a little overwhelming to get everything done. I feel like sometimes I feel like we're just offering too much and we need to offer less, but we don't want to offer you less. So all right, so I'm done all I'm gonna do to these, and I hope that it continued, the video continued, and you're able to see it. I just don't know, but I'm gonna do another ombre as a background video next week, and then I'll also do this again because we had problems. All right, so now I'm gonna peel my stencil off, and like I just said earlier to Ellen, and she asked that, nope, these are one-time stencils, one-time use. They're throwaways after that. Now this is not stencil material because, well, we're desperate right now. Our stencil material is on its way, but it's not here yet. So I say that because it's going to peel the paint off my substrate because this material is too sticky. You hear me, but the screen is froze. And that's right now because I'm watching it as well and it looks okay to me. The video looks kind of grainy. But like on because I watch on a separate screen so I can watch for your comments and stuff. And it looks okay to me. A little grainy, but it looks like it's not froze or anything. All right, I'm gonna have some touch up because I'm using vinyl that's not intended for this purpose, but that's okay. Now, if you get a DIY kit, we send you with a toothpick and we send you with a safety pin, and that is so you can weed out the vinyl after you're done pulling your stencil off. So once you pull off whatever stencil you can get, and you still have to get the little pieces, like the middles of the B's and the E's and the R's and stuff, you'll use your safety pin or your toothpick. At our workshops, we have medical grade tweezers and we have picks, which are like pins. So we have those for you to use. But in a DIY kit, we give you a safety pin, which works just as well. I'm running a little bit over my hour time. I try not to keep you guys forever. I try to keep it to about an hour, but we're almost done. Now I do have some touch up to do, and sometimes in a workshop you will have touch up as well. Our boards go through a 4-step sanding process, but sometimes even doing that, we're not able to Carol, my base was Bon Voyage, not Blue Willow. I told you wrong. Hi, Rachel. So even in a workshop, sometimes you will have bleeds. And again, our boards do go through a 4-step sanding process, but even then we just can't guarantee that you won't have a bleed. So you will sometimes have to touch up. And we have fine little brushes and stuff that we have that you can touch up. And Melissa loves doing touch-up paint. So during a workshop, if you have touch-up paint and you're not very confident about holding a brush steady or anything like that, Melissa loves to do this. So she will help you. I will help you as well, but Melissa will like be your biggest cheerleader. And I'm not going to touch up tons of this. I'm just going to do a little bit of it. The parts that I can see the best. Because to me, I think it looks okay. I never really mind. Now I don't have bleeds. I'm talking about bleeds because that's usually what happens in a workshop. What I have to touch up right now is because the vinyl that we are using right now, because we are out, is a professional grade permanent vinyl. It is for like decaling trucks and stuff. So it's for outdoor use. You're not supposed to use that. Like I said, I started using that before stencil vinyl was ever made. But it pulls up your base paint really easily because it's so sticky. So that's why I have to touch up. You'll notice, I'll hold this up to the camera real quick. You'll notice there are no bleeds on this. It's all where it just pulled up the substrate, the base on the substrate. So like if you look around my letters, the out edges, there's no bleeds on that. So the vinyl works really good. But you'll see like between the O and the M here, and then even in the center of the O, the base is pulled up. And that's because the vinyl's too sticky for this kind of a project. So good news is more vinyl rolls are on their way. I don't know when they're set to arrive. Hopefully soon. They're usually pretty quick about getting us our stuff. It usually only takes like 2 days. So it should be here. It should be here before Monday. And we'll be back in business. We did have orders to fill yesterday, and we had no vinyl. Well, prior, our last stencil order, our machine went wonky. I have no idea what it did, but we walked away from it because we were busy, and it was cutting huge amounts of stencils, and it decided to cut a line down the middle of the whole entire run, and it pulled out like, I'm gonna say 20 or 30 yards and cut a line down the whole entire thing. Well, we've been slammed, so we just cut that piece off, rolled it up, and threw it to the side and started over. And so it was good vinyl for depending on what kind of stencil that we needed to cut, because it had this big cut line down the center. So we just needed to make sure that whatever we were cutting, we placed on one side or the other of the line. Well, desperate times call for desperate measures, and we were out of stencil material, and we had orders to fill yesterday. So we busted out that roll, and we had to cut one piece on one side, one piece on the other side, until we got all of our orders cut using the messed up piece. But it worked. So now hopefully our new shipment comes in soon. I'm going to do just a little bit more, and then I'm going to call it good. And I'm going to show you guys this, and then I'm going to be out of your lives until Tuesday. I got to go pick up my laptop yet today. I borrowed my laptop out last night for our virtual to somebody who couldn't get theirs to work right. And it's just the computer that runs our CNC anyway, so I wasn't going to be using it. That I was desperate to have it. I gotta go pick that up, and I don't know what else. Figure out dinner. I'm tired of figuring out dinner. Hi, Liz. Catching us at our tail end here. Placed a grocery order today. I won't get it for 6 days. 6 days. Really? It's ridiculous. Okay, that's all I'm gonna do. And this is the sign with the gradient or the ombre. Now I could have blended that a little bit better, but I got distracted with the video glitching and ending, or whatever happened. I still don't know. All right. Okay, so puzzles will be on our website shortly. It's going to take me a little bit. We've got a lot of designs, and like I just explained to you, the digital end of it, getting everything ready for the website, takes a little bit of time. So I'm going to get those going, and these are on there. I pressed the button earlier. I had these set up. More designs will be added as we go, but it's going to take me a little bit of time to add more. I want to focus on some other things, so I figure you got enough on there to choose from right now, so I'm not gonna focus on that right now, but I will get the puzzles on there.